Today we're going to be talking about something that not many people are talking about. There's no major headlines, there's no mass protests, but there's hundreds of thousands of people being killed. There is millions and millions of people being displaced. And this is the civil war of Sudan. There is a small article I have found, so we're going to check this out, but this isn't giving you mass headlines, and there's people aren't protesting on the streets. And trust me, this is most probably one of, if not the worst war that is going on around the world today. Bloodbath feared as rebels trap thousands in Sudan city. How did we get here and what might come next? So for those that don't know, you've got the Sudanese armed forces versus the rapid support forces. So basically the Sudanese army versus sort of a paramilitary sort of National Guard force, basically fighting for power. But what is going on is absolutely horrific. It's pretty much been going on since April 2023. And estimates suggest that more than 150,000 people have died due to the conflict. One additional 14 million have been displaced from their homes. Absolutely shocking numbers. And I can't show them on this video because likely the video may get taken down. But there is aerial footage and aerial imagery of mass genocide, just bodies left in the street. You can see the blood where it's just spread across the ground, mass pools of blood. And this isn't breaking headlines. No major countries, leaders are talking about it. It's just being swept under the carpet. But let's check out this article anyway. Sudanese rebels have driven government forces from Al-Fashir, the last stronghold of the country's regime in the western Darfur region, amid a brutal struggle for territory that has led to it's mass genocide, and contributed to one of the world's most severe humanitarian crises. I would say this is the most severe humanitarian crisis currently going on at the minute. For more than a year, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces has besieged Al-Fashir, its final major barrier to control in Darfur. The RSF aims to establish a parallel government in the region. It has been battling the Sudanese armed forces for power since April 2023. As we said, 150,000 people or more have died and roughly 14 million people have been displaced. Sudan's army chief, Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, who is also the de facto head of the state, acknowledged the rebels' capture of Al-Fashir. In a broadcast on Monday, he stated that his troops retreated from the city due to the destruction and systematic killing of civilians. So it looks like they are just going from village to village, town to town, city to city, and just wiping out everyone until they have control. There's also reports of a possible hidden agenda. So Sudan is roughly 97% Muslim with about 3% Christianity. And it looks like if you go deeper into the research, which no one is talking about, basically it's a wipeout of Christians, but no one is talking about it. Justin Lynch, a Sudan researcher and managing director of Conflict Insights Group, a data analytics and conflict monitoring organisation, told CNN that RSF's capture of Al-Fashir marks the beginning of what we fear to be a massacre of civilians. It's not the beginning, it started. And it's been going on for some time. According to Tom Fletcher, United Nations humanitarian chief, hundreds of thousands of civilians remain trapped in Al-Fashir, lacking food and healthcare. He reported that escape routes have been blocked amid intense shelling and ground assaults that have engulfed the city. They are basically just surrounding them, and they are just going village to village. And I can't go into too much detail, but you can imagine these are brutal killings. And they are just being left on the streets. The RSF has claimed it is committed to protecting civilians in Al-Fashir and providing safe corridors for those seeking to leave. However, the Human Rights Office said it received multiple alarm reports of the RSF committing atrocities, including summary executions of civilians and videos showing dozens of unarmed men being shot or lying dead, surrounded by RSF fighters. It's also cited that indications of ethnic motivations for killings. Indications of ethnic motivations for killings. And no one is talking about this. It's just being completely swept under the carpet. Absolutely crazy. Between April 2023 and mid-October 2025, her organisation documented 390 incidents of violence against civilians in Al-Fasher and surrounding areas, resulting in over 1,300 reported fatalities, along with 180 attacks on internally displaced persons, IDPs, that caused at least 830 deaths. Ethnically motivated killings have been a feature of the conflict from its outset, particularly in Darfur. The region experienced some of its worst ethnic violence in 2023, with hundreds of individuals from non-Arab ethnic groups massacred by the RSF and forces linked to it. This is mass genocide on an absolutely horrendous scale. Horrendous scale. For the past 30 months, army leader al-Burhan and Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who leads the RSF, have been fighting over control of Sudan. So they basically can't decide who's in control. Obviously, the Sudanese armed forces are in control, but RSF, they are fighting for it. They're fighting for power. And it's the civilians, the locals, the families, the children. They are the ones that are suffering because they can't decide who wants to be in power. Once again, no one is talking about it. This needs to be brought to the main headlines. Everyone's too busy talking about Israel and Palestine. This is far worse what is going on. And we've got Nigeria, which we'll be talking about in another video. These two men, once allies and among the most powerful generals in the country, jointly ousted President Omar al-Bashir from power in 2019. They also played significant roles in the subsequent coup in 2021 when al-Burhan seized control of Sudan's transitional government. And it just goes on. Literally goes on. But the other issue you've got is, and you can't officially find this, but you've got certain countries that are sort of backing each side, providing them with funding, providing them with weapons, which obviously isn't going to help the war. And there's also, from what I hear, rumours, Russia are backing both sides, so causing mass destabilisation within the area, because obviously if you fund both sides, provide them with money and firearms, then it's really not going to end, because they've both got the funding and the weapon systems to continue fighting the war. You've got, I think it's the UAE backing the Sudanese armed forces, you've got Russia backing both. It's just horrendous. Furthermore, it said they had deliberately targeted women and girls from ethnic Kurdic groups for rape. They won't mention the groups, for rape and other forms of brutal sexual violence, and targeted fleeing civilians, murdering innocent people escaping the conflict, and prevented remaining civilians from accessing life-saving supplies. There's just a breakdown of what is happening in Sudan at the minute that no one is talking about, and we're going to follow this closely. I just wanted to let you know roughly what is going on, but we're going to break this down. We're going to follow it closely and let you know what is going on. Plus, we've got other situations going on in the region that we're going to break down as well. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this and why people are not talking about it. Please do comment below. Got a massive ethnic cleansing, mass genocides. You can see the images from aerial footage and imagery. You can see the claret on the ground, and no one is talking about it. Please do comment below what your thoughts are. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.